Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny IELTS. So today, IELTS speaking practice. Miss Sarah is here. I'm not so sure if Miss Trúc will join us, but hopefully she will. So first, let's start with Miss Sarah. So let's start with part one first. So let's try a random topic of part one. Let's talk about wild animals. So the wild animals are the thing that they are not domesticated, they are not tamed, not tamed. So it means they are still dangerous to humans. Okay, chưa được thuần hóa. Đương nhiên nó sẽ vẫn còn rất nguy hiểm đối với con người. And of course, they are not tamed. It means they're not domesticated. It means they has not been brought to live and work with or work for humans. Nó chưa được đem vào sống và lao động cho con người. There you go. Miss Brooke is here. Perfect. Okay. She's entering. So those are wild animals. Wild. Y ngắn L nè. Wild. I-L thành wild. Wild animals. Những động vật hoang dã. Those are wild animals. Okay, so this is a topic of part one. We're going to talk about it. And Troop is entering. Let's wait. Okay, there you go. Hello, Miss Troop.
Hello.
Hi there. Okay, so let's do part one sleeping practice first. Let's do topic number 33. It's a bit hard. So, Miss Sarah, do you have a favorite wild animals? Remember, wild animal means they're not tame, they're still dangerous for humans, okay? And of course, they're not domesticated. You have to tame them first before you domesticate them. Phải thuần hóa nó trước rồi mới đem nó vô sống và lao động cùng với con người được.
How
So,
about some kind of like dolphin?
dolphin, I think we have tamed them. They are no longer dangerous, but I don't think people domesticate them, you know.
Yeah, but even in the ocean, I don't think it's dangerous, right?
Um, I don't think it's too dangerous. I think dolphin, I think there has been no problem with dolphin, I think. But
Mm.
sharks and other dangerous animals, yes, they do. They are very wild. They're very dangerous. They are very mean,
Mm.
very mean animals. Những động vật rất hung hăng, hung dữ.
Mm.
So, do you have a favorite wild animal, Sarah? Remember, pets are not wild animals, okay? Pets, they are tamed already. And of course, they are domesticated a long time ago. And we consider them as a family members,
Mm.
as members of the family, you know? Được coi như thành viên gia đình luôn mới gọi là pets. Còn chúng ta đang nói về động vật hoang dã hoàn toàn khác nha. So do you
Yeah,
have a favorite wild animal?
yeah. Dolphin is my favorite wild animal.
Wild.
Wild animal.
Wild animal. But why? Can you explain why?
There was a lot movie about the ocean, and I saw that dolphin is friendly with people, and
It's
sometimes
friendly to people.
friendly to people, and sometimes they help people overcome the dangerous situation uh in the sea. So
Dangerous situation.
yeah.
Of course.
um,
I've seen a lot of dolphin helping humans, you know, heard a lot of the story about dolphin helping humans.
yes.
So I say, how about you, Mr. Do you have a favorite wild animal?
Yes, my favorite wild animal is panda. I think they are really lovely and friendly to
But be
humans.
careful because they can be still be dangerous, you know.
Yes, every wild animal um, should be considered as a um, as So, mm,
Of course, they are
as a
dangerous.
I think they are dangerous, but when they are
Domesticated, huh?
tamed and raised in special places as you, I think they are trained to uh, to be to behave more better and more friendly to humans.
I see. So, Miss Sarah, what wild animals are common in Vietnam? Let's
In
think
Vietnam,
about them.
yes, sorry.
Like animals you see in a zoo, something like that. You know, what wild animals are common in your country?
Mm. Yeah, in my country we have a lot of
There are a lot of, có là there is.
we
Chúng
have
tôi
lot.
có là we have, nhưng mà chữ có không là there is there are nha. Có cái nghĩa hiện hữu.
Yes, we have lots of uh, mountainous area, and so there are lots of wild
Wild animals
dangerous animal like
like âm
snake
cuối để âm cuối. A lot of wild animals
animal,
like
dangerous animals like snake,
snake, âm a nha, âm a, snakes.
snakes, and
Okay. Snakes, what's it called? Panther, con báo gấm.
uh,
Panther, tigers, what's it called? Lion and rhino, the rhinoceros. The rhinoceros, I think. Rhino. We call them rhino. Rhino. We call them rhino. And what else can you mention?
elephant.
Of course, elephants. We have them. We have a lot of elephants in Tây Nguyên province, I think. Anything else?
Snake, yes, and you can easily see is and they are dangerous for people who like hiking, who do hiking uh, uh want to want to travel uh in the mountainous area.
Okay. It can be quite dangerous, but people also hunt them, you know. They are poachers.
Yeah.
Poachers.
Mm.
Okay, so poachers.
Culture.
Poachers, những kẻ săn trộm. So of course, poachers. They are illegal hunting of animals, you know, poachers around. So, Miss Trúc, did you learn anything about wild animals at school?
Yes, I believe that uh, children learn about wild animals at schools as a subject. I remember that in primary school,
You remember what they taught you?
as teachers taught me about animals, about basic knowledge, such as names of wild animals, uh, what they are, what they eat, where they live, for
Where they
example.
live, what they eat. You mean their natural habitats, right? Cái môi trường sống tự nhiên của nó. They are natural habitats. They are
Yes.
natural habitats. Những môi trường sống tự nhiên của nó. And also, Did they teach you how to protect them, these animals?
Yes, through the story and songs, teacher help us to know more about wild animals and how to protect them. Sure, helping us become more familiar with wild animals, habitats, and yes,
With wild animals, yes.
and the difference between domestic and wild animals.
Domestic or wild animals?
Wild animals to protect not only them but also us when communicate with them. For some situations, such as in zoo, for example.
Okay. And of course, you know, people always try to feed them, or they try to, okay, you see pandas, you know, they're really cute, they're really adorable, but do not try to hug them, okay? Adorable. Adorable. They're really adorable, dễ thương lắm luôn á, nhưng mà ráng đừng có tìm cách mà ôm nó nhé. Mấy con nó vận động hoang dã nó sẽ rất là nguy hiểm. They could be dangerous to you, remember that. So, Miss Sarah, do you like to watch TV programs about wild animals?
Yes, I prefer to watch the wild animal program because from them I learn how the animal they try to survive in the nature. They learn how to hunt, how to looking for the food and protect themselves from other spies. And yeah, I also see how the and how them take care for their children and teach them how to be independent and survivor in the dangerous situation. So it's really interesting to learn from wild animal and learn from nature to survive.
I see. So, Ms. Drew, is it important to protect wild animals? Why do we have to protect them, you know?
I strongly agree with that idea. Protecting wild animals is truly important because they play vital roles in natural environment. Wild animals are the key part um, of the balance of
Balance hay là
ecosystems.
balance?
The balance
The
of
balance, the natural balance,
the,
right?
yes, the balance of ecosystem. If one a wild animal species disappear, it
It
can
can disrupt their natural balance. Nó gọi là gián đoạn, nó bị đứt đoạn sự cân bằng tự nhiên, or you can just say that it disrupt also the food chain, chuỗi thức ăn. Like for example, if one animal become extinct, nhớ là cái cụm become extinct đi chung với nhau, không dùng extinct như động từ, nhớ nha. Cho nên là if one animal become extinct chứ không phải là one animal extinct, you know. If one animal become extinct, the other animals will be hungry as well because They depend on each other in the food chain. Chúng phụ thuộc vào nhau trong cái chuỗi thức ăn mà. Cho nên một con tuyệt chủng mấy con khác đói nha, có thể chết theo nha. They can also die, you know. So what do you think, Miss Trúc? Do you like to watch TV programs about wild animals, and what are these programs about? Oh, sorry, I'm asking you this next question. Is it important to protect wild animals?
I strongly believe that wild animals play a vital role in the balance of ecosystem, because they if once wild animal species disappears, it can disrupt the food chains. For example, if mm, wild animals such as tigers is in dangers or becomes extinct.
Become extinct? What would happen?
Yes. Some other animals can be overgrown.
Can overgrow. Yeah, exactly.
Can overgrow.
You can use the word overgrow. Very good. Phát triển quá mức. They can overgrow. And overgrowth of them can cause a lot of problems for the ecosystem. Cho hệ sinh thái nhiều vấn đề lắm nếu mà tự nhiên một con nó phát triển quá mức chẳng hạn. So what would be the problem then?
Yes, it can lead to imbalance
of the natural system.
Of the natural ecosystem. Of course, the more species we have, the healthier our planet is. But biodiversity helps nature stay strong and adapt to change, like climate shifts or diseases. And many wild animals also helps scientists understand about nature and even increase medicines.
Sorry, I don't understand. What do they do?
They help scientists understand about nature.
And then create medicines too, you know.
And
create medicine.
Great medicine.
Yeah. Okay, so Miss Sarah, why is it important to protect wild animals then? What do you think?
Yes. Protect wild animal is really important because animal, they are the important part of the ecosystem.
The ecosystem. System, ST. The ecosystem, chứ không phải là system, không đúng. Nó là system.
Ecosystem.
Okay. The ecosystem. Nó vẫn sai, chưa được. The ecosystem. Mấy cái ST người Việt hay bị sai nhiều lắm luôn. The ecosystem. Chưa được. System. Sai rồi. Nó là sister. System, you know. Nói chung là kéo dài, đừng có đọc nhanh quá. Ecosystem. Chưa được. Vẫn chưa được. Phải cố gắng là luyện tập cái ST đó. The ecosystem. All right, let's just continue now. So is it important to protect wild animals? What do you think?
Yes, they are an animal is the important part of the nature and
Of nature, of nature.
nature. Important parts of nature. They keep for ecosystem going, keep the ecosystem going and keep for the food chain or protect. And if we don't protect the wild animal, they maybe lead to an imbalance in environment, and there are some animal will overgrow and some become extinct. Extinct. Yes, and it's in the long term it will affect the human life, and if there are some, like for example in there are some insects, they are overgrown and they affect
They
the
affect the health and the life of the other creatures.
habitat and the crop, and it's affect to human food.
Không có affect to nhà, affect cái gì đó thôi, không có giới từ.
Affect
Cái
human,
affect to này là sai nhiều lắm luôn á. It does affect something, someone.
affect human crop and human food.
Okay, it affects humans' health, yes, and it affects negatively the other creatures. Like for example, if the numbers of cats, let's just say wild cats, mèo trong tự nhiên, mèo rừng, if the number of wild cats and forest cats decreases, then the number of rats, mouse, rodents, rodents, the number of rodents, những con gặm nhấm, like rats, mouse, chipmunks, these rodents, the numbers will increase, and it can destroy farms, it can destroy human farms and forests. Mấy con đó nó phá hoại lắm nha, mấy con rodents á. They can destroy the farms and also they can destroy their produce, the produces, produce,
Yes.
sản vật nông nghiệp, produce. Động từ tôi produce, nhưng mà danh từ của nó có một cái danh từ là produce, là sản vật nông nghiệp nha. They can destroy farms and produce, which is really bad. So we need to keep the natural balance well, and also think about the fact that when let's say mosquitoes, of course mosquito, they are eaten by chameleon, these chameleons, những con chameleons and geckos, mấy con thằn lằn, mấy con kỳ đà. Chameleon và geckos là thằn lằn, chameleon, kỳ đà, geckos, mấy con thằn lằn. Of course chameleons and geckos, they eat mosquitoes and other insects. So if the population, cái chữ population trong sinh học nghĩa là gì? Quần thể hoặc là dân số. The population of chameleons and geckos decreases, there would be more insects, like say mosquitoes affecting humans and other creatures,
Okay.
And it could cause a lot of diseases, like for example dengue fever, dengue fever, nó gọi là sốt xuất huyết. It could cause a lot of problems like dengue fever or what's it called, nó còn nhiều bệnh lắm, sốt rét nữa ta. I'm not so sure, but dengue fever and malaria. Malaria là sốt rét. and dengue fever, there would be a lot of people with those problems, with the diseases. It's dangerous, nguy hiểm phải không đâu? So we need to keep the balance. Now, so Ms. Rook, does your country have a strict law to protect wild animals? Do you think Vietnam has that law? Việt Nam
To be
có luật
honest,
nào nghiêm khắc không? Để chống lại cái chuyện để mà bảo vệ động vật hoang dã không?
to be honest, I don't think that our country have a strict law enough to protect wild animals because there are still many articles about how much animals are in danger because the illegal hunting.
Illegal hunting.
Yes. I believe that there's no shortage of people know about the vital role of wild animals in the ecosystem balance, but because their benefits, uh, high profits from buying animals, make them to do that, and our countries still boost their efforts to prevent this problem, but I think that it's not enough.
Of course, it's not enough. You see, a lot of rich people, they have this, what's it called? Deer antler in their home. Deer antlers. This is the deer antler. A lot of rich people, they have these deer antler in their home as decoration, It shows that they are rich, so they can keep shooting those animals. They can just keep paying money to do that, And in Vietnam, people look for rhino horn, sừng tê giác, so they can make medicines. And of course, it drove the population of rhino down a lot. It drove the population of rhino down significantly in the past, to the point of extinction, đến cái mức mà gọi là extinction luôn, the point of extinction, which is really bad. So I don't think the law of Vietnam is strict enough with this one. Trust me. People bribe, con người ta cứ hối lộ, bribe. People often bribe the police to get out of a fine, to get out of trouble, để mà không bị rắc rối với cảnh sát. People often bribe the police, Now, so what do you think, Mr.? Do you still think that law in Vietnam is strict enough to protect wild animals?
I don't think that our country's law is strict enough to protect wild animals from being hunted.
Being hunted?
Illegally.
Illegally?
Yes, illegally. Many people who try to hunt them and buy and exchange them illegally for profits because others people think that their part as truly help them cure their health problem. For example, people use rhino horns for treating their health problems, and they believe that it can improve their health naturally. But the scientists prove that is not true. But because the norms through general to generations. Generations, they still believe that, and it's not help these situations become better. I strongly believe that if our country's law
Law, kéo dài. If our country's law
if our country laws is stricter,
is more strict, yeah, it's stricter, yeah, you can say stricter.
is stricter with a more serious
more serious
more
consequences.
serious consequence punishment
Mhm.
and high and high enough monies which
You
is
mean
fine,
a very high fine, a very high
of the
fine,
high fines,
mức phạt,
monetary fine, monetary
a
punishment.
very high fine,
Yes.
mức rất cao luôn. It could deter people. It can deter, deter people from committing crimes. We learned this one before.
Yes, it can deter people from committing crimes.
Right. So, Miss Sarah, what do you think? Does Vietnam have strict law to protect wild animals?
Yeah, I think Vietnam law in not strict enough to in protecting
Wild animals.
animal. We basically just have some kind of general law about that, like protecting some rare wild animal or uh the forest area.
Bảo vệ rừng, luật chăm sóc và bảo vệ rừng. We
Yes.
just have laws to protect the forest. Yes.
But even there were current law about that. There's a lot of people still they still hunting
Keep hunting, yes.
hunting illegally and destroy the natural environment of
I
the
see.
water. So it affects seriously to the
Không có từ affect, không có từ.
seriously
It
the
affects seriously.
habitat and it makes serious it creates serious
Consequences.
environment problem. And I believe that Vietnam should really serious in
Should be more serious, yeah.
should be more serious in
dealing with illegal hunting,
with the law that can protect the wild animal and their habitat.
Yeah. Nó là illegal hunting, or we call poaching, săn bắt bất hợp pháp. Săn bắn thì đúng hơn, bất hợp pháp. It means illegal hunting, or poaching is the right word to use. Poaching. Now, okay, let's move on to part 2 of IELTS speaking practice here. Let's try topic number 52. It's about ambition. Tham vọng. Describe the person you would like to become in 10 years. So you should use future tense, or ways to talk about the future, Tìm cách nói về tương lai nha. Miêu tả cái người bạn muốn trở thành trong vòng 10 năm nữa. You should say what kind of person you know, what kind of person you want to become, and what you need to do to become that person. Phải làm gì để thành cái người như thế. And explain why you want to become a person like that. Nên là kế hoạch tương lai nha. We need to use future, talk about future things, Mình phải dùng đúng cái động từ ở thì nào nha. So part 3 of ambitions. So what kinds of ambitions do people have and why? Con người ta có những cái loại tham vọng nào? Tại sao? Think about ambitions. About most people have the ambitions to be rich, to be wealthy, to own properties. Sở hữu tài sản, sở hữu những tài sản. That's the most common ambition, you know, to be wealthy, to own properties, to be famous. Vậy cho nên nổi tiếng. Some other people, they have ambitions to be masters in many skills. For example, trở thành bậc thầy trong nhiều kỹ năng chẳng hạn. To be masters in many skills, that's a good ambition. To be successful in life, in love, in their academic, in academia. Thành công trong học vấn. To be successful in life, in love, in their academia. Thành công trong tình trường, trong tình yêu chẳng hạn. You know, there are also other ambitions. It's about personal achievement. Những thành quả cá nhân, personal improvement. Sự cải thiện cá nhân. People have ambitions to help their community or their country or the whole world. You know, those people they have very how can I say, noble. They have noble intention. Dự định rất là cao quý, một dự định cao quý. They have noble intention, dự định cao quý. So they want to help the community, the whole world, you know. You should talk about that. Why do people have these kind of ambitions? Like, for example, if you are born poor, of course, you would want to be wealthy, to own properties, you know, to overcome your difficult situation, to overcome your hardships. Để vượt qua được những cái sự khó khăn, difficulties and hardships, you know. However, not everyone poor wants to become wealthy, you know. Đâu phải ai nghèo cũng muốn trở nên giàu có. You know, they just want to live an okay life, you know. And think about, people want to be famous if, let's say, they have some talent and they want to have some recognition, you know, to have more recognition. Có nhiều sự thừa nhận hơn. Có nhiều sự thừa nhận của mọi người hơn. They have to have more recognition. It's one of the basic needs. It's one of the needs of people. Đó là một trong những cái nhu cầu con người, được người ta thừa nhận tài năng, khả năng, you know. Think about, to master many skills, it could be because they want to have personal improvements. Maybe they want to be success in life, in love, because maybe their love sucks, you know, maybe their love life is not very good. If they don't study well, you would want to be successful in academia, something like that, you know. Some people, they want to be successful in research. Trong nghiên cứu nữa cơ. You should talk about the reason why. Now, why should parents encourage children to have ambitions? Ba mẹ có nên khuyến khích trẻ nhỏ có tham vọng không? Think about the fact that if you do not encourage your children to have ambitions, then your child will grow up. Your children may grow up without any real purpose, without any real purposes in life. Nó sống không có mục đích nha, sống không có mục tiêu, mục đích gì đó. They may grow up without any real purposes in life. They may live a mediocre. They may live a very mediocre life. Một cái cuộc đời rất tầm thường luôn á.
Mediocre.
Là một cái từ mà nó mang cái nghĩa xấu. Sống một cuộc đời tầm thường. They may live a very mediocre life, which is a bad thing, you know. Or worse, they could live on the lifeblood of others. Sống nhờ vào máu thịt người khác. Live on the lifeblood of others. It means that they depend on others to survive, you know. Nó phụ thuộc vào sống bám người khác. Or it could be very bad. Think about that. So in a way, ambition is good, and parents are at a position to encourage children to do that. To be at the position to do something. Ở vị thế để làm điều gì đó. Bạn ở một cái vị thế để làm gì đó. You are at a position to do something, and parents are at a position to encourage children to have ambitions. Think about what I just said. Now, should parents interfere with children's ambitions? Cha mẹ có nên can thiệp vào những cái tham vọng của trẻ nhỏ không? So once children have some ambitions, like want to become famous, want to become artists, should parents interfere with that? You know, Vietnamese parents always try to interfere if their children want to become artists, you know. Cha mẹ Việt Nam lúc nào cũng nghĩ là con không nên trở thành nghệ sĩ tại sướng ca vô loài, you know. Vietnamese parents always do that. But these days, it's becoming better. These days, Vietnamese parents allow their children to go to be whatever they want. But back then, 20 years ago, it wasn't like that, you know. It was terrible back then. And so the question is, should they or should they not interfere with children's ambitions? You know, some ambitions can be unrealistic. Unrealistic ambitions. Một số cái kỳ vọng, một số cái tham vọng có thể nó không có thực tế nha. It could lead to a huge waste of talent or time or efforts if you pursue a fruitless path. Nếu mà theo đuổi một con đường không đi đến kết quả gì. It's to pursue a fruitless path. Không có trái cây, tức là không ra hồn, không đi đến kết quả gì cả. Fruitless. Fruitless means like something that will not produce the fruit, will not produce the result you want. You know, so check the word fruitful and fruitless. Producing good result is fruitful. Sản sinh trái cây tức là sao? Sản sinh được kết quả tốt. Kết quả ngược lại là fruitless. So it's unsuccessful, produce nothing of value. Chẳng nên hồn, chẳng sản xuất được cái gì mà nên hồn cả. It's the same as futile. Oh, sorry. It's the same as futile. You see, non nớt. Futile. Non nớt. Non kém. Không đi đến đâu. Không đi đến đâu được cả. So a lot of ambitions can end up being wasted, you know. Like, for example, you know, out of 100 people who try to become singer, how many people can actually become famous? Only one of them, you know, one or two of them. So how about the rest of them? they don't become famous and they waste a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of efforts to pursue something that is fruitless. Or if they have no talent, if you try to pursue that path, you're just going to waste a lot of money, you know. Nếu mình không có tài năng mà cứ theo đuổi hoài, nó sẽ không đến một cái kết quả nào cả, you know. So in that sense, in that case, I think parents should interfere with children's ambitions, but in other cases, I think they should not. I think you know the answer. Now, should teachers encourage students to have ambitions? Những người giáo viên có nên khuyến khích sinh viên học sinh của họ có tham vọng không? Think about what I just said, but now it's teacher and students. So if teachers do not encourage, then student would not even study, you know. Lười chết luôn á. Bây giờ là con người ta vượt sướng rất là khó, so với lại vượt khó nha. People these days, they are born and raised under under favorable conditions. Được sinh ra và nuôi nấng quá sướng dưới những điều kiện quá thuận lợi. Under very or too favorable conditions. So I think people these days are super lazy and unmotivated. They are unmotivated, không có động lực phấn đấu. And because of that, they just become mediocre citizens. Họ chỉ trở thành những cái công dân rất tầm thường. And students the same thing. Should teachers encourage students to have ambitions, become much better, to reach their full potential, đạt được cái tiềm năng tối đa nhất, đầy đủ nhất của họ? Should teachers do that? And what would happen if they do not encourage? Bây giờ thử không khuyến khích xem là sinh viên học sinh có chịu học không? Rồi sản sinh những người như thế nào, lao động như thế nào? What would happen if teachers do not do that? We would produce a low quality workforce, which could affect the nation, the whole country very badly. Một cái lực lượng lao động mà có chất lượng thấp, không chịu phấn đấu, nó sẽ ảnh hưởng đến cái đất nước đó rất là nhiều nha. Think about that. Okay, so you have some time to think about 52 now. Okay, Miss Sarah, please describe the person you would like to become in 10 years.
Yes, in next 10 years, I prefer
In
to be
the next 10 years.
next 10
Trong
years.
những 10 năm trước, 10 năm tới.
Next 10 years, I prefer to become more independent in my personal life and more stable in the finance.
In my finance, yeah.
In my finance, yes. Currently, I have a stable job. Have my own department and my own place. However, I believe that nowadays everything can change quickly, and I really serious consider about having a side job to be more stable in my finance in the future.
Finance, nhưng đầu nha, finance.
My finance in the future, and I start studying English to because
have a better income in the future now.
Yes, because I believe if I really
I believe I'm going. I believe that.
I believe that if I excel in English, I can.
To excel.
I can.
So let's just say, if I excel in English,
I can get a better opportunity in my career. So, yeah, I will spend enough time for that purpose.
Okay, very well. Okay, Miss Trúc, please, can you describe a person you would like to become in 10 years? I think we have done this one several times, Miss Trúc.
In the next decade, I want to become an expert in food products research that job I'm working now because I've had always had a strong desire to succeed in the field I choose. At the moment, I haven't reached that level yet. I'm still in a staff position, but I'm still constantly working to improve both my professional and soft skills to support general growth and lay the way for future career progress.
And
I
lead,
believe
cẩn thận đọc kỹ câu thầy. Lead the way for future prospects. Những
prospects
triển vọng trong tương lai, dẫn đường cho những triển vọng tương lai. Lead the way for future prospects. Prospects. Cẩn thận, đọc cẩn thận. And
and
lead the way for future prospects.
lead the way for future prospects.
Prospect. Mở rộng miệng. Prospects.
Prospects.
Ok, gần được rồi. Ok.
Yes. And lead the way for future prospects. I believe that in order to achieve what I want, I need to refine my skill and deepen my professional knowledge. Of course, I'm putting efforts into learning languages as a tool to help me connect with more people and more environments, creating opportunity for career advancement. Because I care deeply about my career, I want to be recognized as someone who is
Recognized.
want to be recognized as someone who is successful in the field I've chosen.
Okay, so that's why everyone to become person like that.
Yes.
Đừng có quá dài nha. Don't make it too hard. Don't make it too long on task 2. Okay. All right. So let's talk about ambitions now. So, Miss Sarah, what kinds of ambitions do people have? There's a lot of them. You can explore.
Yes, I think most people nowadays have kind of ambition about being successful in their career or become famous and rich. Because in the modern society, people may think that the stability in their stability in their finance
The stability in their finance.
the finance is the first purpose, is a priority purpose. And
It's a priority. Cái chữ priority là được này. It's a priority. It's a priority. Priority.
Right.
Sự ưu tiên.
Yes.
Không cần phải keep purpose nữa. Nó là một cái sự ưu tiên là được này.
Yes.
So let's try that again. Let's try that sentence again.
Yes. So people believe that their
Believe that.
believer
People believe that.
Believe that their finance is the priority.
Is the priority.
Focus on their career and try as much as they can to become successful and famous.
Successful.
And famous and rich. Yeah.
Okay.
Should I answer longer?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I think it's good enough. So, Miss Trúc, please. So, what kind of ambitions do people often have, and why? Can you explore this?
In my opinions,
Mm,
I think that people usually desire
desire
what they
something,
don't
to desire
have,
something.
desire what they don't have. So ambitions seems to be something quite subjective and depends on each person. For some, for some people, they can be they can want to be successful in a career, such as climbing to the top of their positions uh, of their careers positions
Career.
career. Yeah, to reach leadership or executive positions, for example, becomes an expert in their fields, gain deep knowledge, and be respected by others. And in another hand, others want financial success, become a wealthy uh, persons whose reach a specific financial goal, owning home, building uh, savings, have a budget uh, for their retirement, and ensuring a long term
Ensuring. Yeah,
and
ensuring a
and
long term.
ensuring a long term stability, have the ability to retire comfortably. Of course, there are others who are focused on personal development,
Development.
development,
Personal development. I
personal
see.
development, continually growing,
Continually.
continu-
Continually learning or growing.
continually growing, uh, growing knowledge, uh, such as self improvement in personal life and professional one, mastering new skills such as languages, sports, or hobbies. As I think there are many ambitions that people can have,
Ambitions.
ambitions that people can have, as if they put efforts on realize their
Mhm.
ambitions to make it come true in a positive way. I strongly believe that it's really good and not also have people themselves, but
Mm.
also contribute to the general improvement of society.
I see too. Thực sự mỗi một con người mà cải thiện nó ảnh hưởng đến toàn bộ xã hội mà. Of course, because every person, if you improve well, it will indirectly affect the others, of course. So, Miss Sarah, why should parents encourage children to have ambitions?
Yes. As a children, they basically had not much idea about the social life, and they may just stay in the family and school environment. So the parent may need to help them explore themselves and encourage them to have their own ambition, their own dream. Um, uh, when children can can understand themselves better and set up their own goal, they will be more confident and become more
And
confident.
they can lead the life they want.
Yeah.
Live
And
the life. They can live their lives to the fullest. Sống đầy nhất có thể. Sống cuộc đời đầy nhất có thể. Đúng cái gọi là cái tiềm năng nhất có thể.
yes.
They can live their life to the fullest, to the full potential. All right. So, Mr. Bruce, should parents interfere with children's ambitions?
Parents should not completely interfere with their children's ambitions, but they can play an important role in guiding and
Sorry,
supporting them.
in guiding them. Oh,
Guiding and supporting them.
and supporting them, I say.
Yes. It's important for children to know how to explore their interest and
Interest, how
develop
to explore their interests.
how to explore their interest and develop their own goals. Over control can lead to feelings of pressure or lack of confidence of their children about their own abilities. Parents should encourage children to take responsible
To be responsible for their actions, but also to be ambitious, I think. Nó phải chịu trách nhiệm với hành vi của chúng, nhưng mà cũng phải có tham vọng chứ. Of course.
providing guidance and support when they need. It can cultivate the inspire in their children inner. They can improve ambitions in a good way because they know that with every their decisions they have a strong foundation from their parents who can lead them to the final successes.
To their final success.
Yes, and limit mistakes.
Sorry, I don't understand.
And prevent mistakes.
And prevent mistakes, I say, ngăn ngừa những cái lỗi sai. Well, talking about preventing mistakes. So, Miss Sarah, so you think, Miss Sarah, should parents interfere with children's ambitions? Talking about interference, you nói về cái sự mà can thiệp đi.
I think it depends on the specific situation. If the children don't really understand their nature, they don't know what they good at, or they have no ambition or dream to become someone in the future. So maybe the parents should interfere and give them the advice to let them seriously think about how they want to be,
Who they want to be as well. Chúng muốn trở thành ai nữa cơ. Who they want to be and how they want to be as well,
Yes. In the future, so they can save their time and their resource in
to follow the path that can lead to good results,
But in another hand,
on the other hand,
if the children they already had talent and they understand themselves, they present with their dream, so the parents should respect their choice and support and encourage them instead of instead of áp đặt gọi là gì thầy?
Instead of trying to force them,
Try to force
instead of trying to force them
follow their
to follow the path they
Yes.
think would be good for them.
yes their idea
To follow path they think that would be good for them.
So I believe it depends on the specific situation.
Situation depends on specific situations. Specific những âm 3 nha, âm 2 chứ. Depends on a specific situation.
Specific
situations. Những tình huống cụ thể. All right, so Ms. Brooke, should teachers, now let's talk about teachers. Now, should teachers encourage students to have ambitions?
Does having ambitions is truly crucial for each personal life. So if students can have the encouragement from their teachers, is very good and should be appreciated. Teachers will communicate with students more often than their parents. I think nowadays is a fact. They can provide motivations for their children, a sense of directions and purpose. Encourage them to set goals, especially in their academic study. Sometimes career oriented. When a student gets a higher levels, help them stay focused, motivated, and leads to success. Either little goals to bigger ones. Teacher can help them understand the importance of having a vision for their future.
I say having a vision for the future, có được cái tầm nhìn tương lai. Well, have the vision for the future. Có tầm nhìn cho tương lai. Yeah, it's a good thing. You know, vision for the future is actually very important, because if you do not know where you're heading to, you do not have an idea what you are fighting for or what you are pursuing, it's like shooting in the blind, you know. Shooting in the blind. Giống như là bắn hỏa mù, giống như là bắn trong cái lúc mà mình mù không biết đường vậy đó. Shooting in the blind. And giống như đi mà không biết đường. It's like it's a very bad thing, because why? First thing is dangerous. It could cost you a lot of time, effort, and you could go in a wrong way, you know, and your life would be a waste if you shoot in the blind. You don't have a vision of what you want to become. So what do you think, Ms. Sarah? Should teachers encourage students to have ambitions?
Yes, of course, I believe that teacher should encourage their students.
Encourage
their students to have ambition.
Encourage.
Environment.
Okay, so basically the word encourage actually comes from the French word cœur. It means the heart. Làm cho con tim trở nên được khuyến khích, làm cho con tim quả cảm, làm cho con tim trở nên gan dạ hơn, muốn làm, đó chính là khuyến khích. Chữ cơ trong tiếng Pháp. là trái tim. So encourage, cái từ gốc nó là chữ cơ ở đây, cho nên là phải nhấn vào cái âm này, âm cơ. Encourage.
Sorry. Yeah.
So cơ mean the heart in French. So of course it's a root word here. Nó là cái từ gốc root word here. So you have to press on this syllable. Phải nhấn vào cái syllable, cái âm tiết này. Encourage, encourage.
Encourage.
Okay, so what else do you say?
Just because the children, they may just study in school, but there are no specific purpose.
Specific.
And teacher
Âm hai, specific, chứ không phải là specific, you know.
Specific purpose, and children, they understand well enough to know which their student good at and which they should spend more time and resource on to develop themselves.
To develop themselves. I see.
So their advice will be especially important for the student personal development.
Development.
Develop.
Develop, cái từ develop những âm hai mà. Development. Okay, good. Now let's try another part 2 and 3 topic. Let's try 143, I think. Have we done this one before, Miss Trúc? Describe a time you missed an important deadline. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà mình đã lỡ mất một cái deadline quan trọng. Have we done this one before?
I don't think we done.
Sorry?
I don't think we have done this.
Okay, then let's do this one then. Describe a time you missed an important deadline. Miêu tả một thời điểm bạn đã lỡ mất một cái hạn chót quan trọng nào đó, một cái deadline quan trọng nào đó. You should say when it happened, quá khứ nha. What the deadline was about. Deadline là gì vậy? Why you missed that deadline? Tại sao mình lại lỡ mất cái hạn chót đó? What the consequences? Consequences những âm đầu nha. What the consequences were? Có những cái hậu quả nào không? Consequences. Những hậu quả của cái chuyện đó là gì? And how you felt about it. All right, and part 3 of deadlines. What happens if someone misses a deadline? Điều gì diễn ra nếu một ai đó lỡ mất một cái deadline nào đó? I think it depends a lot on what kind of deadline you talk. Like deadline for applications, for example. Deadline để mà đăng ký nộp đơn chẳng hạn. Deadline for application for study or for job or something like that. Deadline for like an important project and how important the deadline is. Nó quan trọng cái là cái deadline nó quan trọng cỡ nào thì cái hậu quả nó càng lớn thôi. The more important the deadline is, the worse the consequences if someone misses the deadline, I think. You think about that, give examples. Cái câu này á, cho example nhiều vậy. So why are deadlines important in work or study? Tại sao những deadline nó lại cực kỳ quan trọng chuyện học hoặc là nghiên cứu? Think about that. People often procrastinate. Trì hoãn. Con người ta thường trì hoãn. People often procrastinate. They wait until the last minute. They often wait until the last minute to act. Người ta thường trì hoãn, chờ phút cuối mới hành động cơ. That's what happened, you know. A lot of people do this. So without deadlines, you know, you don't get things done quickly. People cannot get things done quickly, you know, because people often wait for the last minutes. That's how most people are. Phần đông con người ta thường chờ lúc cuối mới làm mà. Cho nên mà không có deadline, không có thúc được, không có mọi thứ, không có push được. You cannot push things without deadline. So I think that's why it's so important. Think for yourself, okay? Now, how can meeting deadlines affect a person's performance? Chuyện mà có thể đáp ứng được đúng hạn những cái deadlines ảnh hưởng thế nào đến cái thành tích của một người? Okay, you work in the workplace, you know, you know how to answer this one, I think. Does it affect your annual performance assessment? Kiểm tra, nó gọi là sự kiểm tra đánh giá thành tích lao động hàng năm. And of course, it affects your what's it called? Annual bonuses. Những thưởng hàng năm đó chứ. Of course, annual bonuses. Or it can lead you to get fired. Who knows? Nhiều khi là bị đuổi vì lỡ mất quá nhiều deadline chẳng hạn, something like that. And they can hire someone new, you know. Just be careful. Okay, so what are some common challenges people face with deadlines? Có những cái thách thức thông thường nào con người ta phải đối diện với những deadlines không? Think about there are sometimes unreasonable requirements, những đòi hỏi không những đòi hỏi vô lý, phi lý, like unreasonable requirements. For example, if you work for agency, if you work as an artist, you understand what I mean. Cứ làm việc cho agency, cứ làm việc như là nghệ sĩ thì các bạn sẽ hiểu được tại sao khách đòi này đòi kia, mà nhiều người đòi hết sợ luôn á. A lot of customers, they demand a lot from artists. They demand a lot from people they pay money for, you know, they pay money too. A lot of demands are very unreasonable. Requirement and demands, những đòi hỏi vô lý cực kỳ luôn á. So and also when doing deadlines, when facing deadlines, your health get affected, negatively affected. Sức khỏe bị ảnh hưởng tiêu cực. Health get negatively affected because of deadlines, of course. Imagine you are sleeping, but you receive messages from your clients asking you to fix something for them because they didn't like it. Bạn đang ngủ, bụp một cái tin nhắn, khách hàng kêu em tranh thủ sửa giùm chị cái này gấp, rồi xong. You know your sleep get affected a lot. Oh, it's terrible. And how can people manage their time better to meet deadlines? Làm thế nào con người ta quản lý thời gian của họ tốt hơn để mà kịp đáp ứng những deadlines? So I'm sure you have done this one more than me because I'm not under much stress because I don't work for anybody. Okay, so you have some time to think, class. Okay, now it's time for Miss Trúc first, please. Can you describe a time you missed an important deadline, please?
About a time when I missed a deadline
Hmm.
and fell behind schedule on the new
Fell
project
behind schedule, yeah?
while I was still a new employee.
Hmm.
This was for projects where I was responsible for researching a new product for a client. However, due to the high requirements and my lack of experience, I struggled for a long time and couldn't meet their expectations on time. I ended up taking more time than allowed and had to
Allowed.
send
Then allowed.
and had to send an incomplete sample. As a result, my manager has to reschedule the meeting with the client and she was very angry.
Of course she would be angry.
Of course, this puts me under a lot of pressure. Fortunately, I receive support from experienced colleagues who
Mhm.
has been with the company for a long time. They help me into in my task. Although the project find many challenges and issues,
Cái từ đồng nghiệp em đọc sao?
colleagues,
Colleagues, những người đồng nghiệp. Colleagues,
colleagues,
colleagues.
colleagues. Yes. Though the project face many challenges and issues, and I had a mistake, but still believe that uh, making continuous efforts to improve the situations will always be appreciated. So that's a time when I missed the deadline and the ways I managed to improve the situation.
Okay, very good. Miss Sarah, please describe a time you missed a deadline, please.
I say about when I miss a flight, that's at school.
In school, huh? I see. Okay, please talk about it. Be careful your verbs. Cẩn thận động từ.
Yes, I remember that I missed a flight, an important flight last few months when I travel for business, and at that time because I spend so much time for buying gift for family and friend, and so when I came to airport, the flight already land off, and I need to stay I need to wait few hours for the next flight. So
I waited. I had to.
I
I
had
had
to
to
wait
wait a
for
few hours more for the following flight.
the following flight. So it's really best experience for me, and I always remember that whenever I travel for business, again to remind myself that I need to be careful and
Need to be really careful, careful.
careful for about the timeline, about the deadline.
Of course. Now, let's go to part 3 now. So, Miss Sarah, what happens if someone misses a deadline in general, Nhìn chung thôi nha.
Yes, of course, if we miss a deadline, it maybe makes everything a little messed up, and we need to reschedule our time frame and fix the mistake. But the level of consequence also depend on the type of deadline. It's
The
just
types of deadline, yeah.
a deadline. It's just a personal deadline, and it's not really affect other. You maybe just need to spend more time on that and change and keep and change the deadline. So it's maybe not serious the
You can
issue
ask to extend the deadline,
and the
Rồi, giờ
deadline.
hẹn chót lại đi, dời lại. You can ask
Yes.
to extend the deadline, yep.
Yeah.
Rộng ra.
But if related to work or study, it's maybe more serious when you need to explain the reason and with your boss and
It's terrible.
colleague or the teacher for that mistake, and it's maybe also trigger other type of consequences like finance.
Performance, like finance, something like that. They
Yes,
can cut off some annual bonuses for you.
yes,
There might not be annual bonuses for you because of that, you know.
yeah.
What
And
about
people also less believe in you in
So
the
basically, it affects your, let's just say, it affects your credibility,
yes,
chữ tín,
credibility.
chữ tín của bạn,
Yeah,
mức độ
it
tin tưởng của bạn.
less.
It affects your credibility. So,
it's
of course, next time, people will think twice
yeah.
before giving you a job or a task, because they might think that you are unreliable, you know,
Unreliable. Yeah.
and that is bad, really bad, you know. Now, so Ms. Trúc, why are deadlines important in work or study? What do you think?
Guys, people work and study because they have chef the productivity.
Mm-hmm.
When people manage well their job or personal tasks, they can easily to adjust and finish their goals easily than others who struggle to do that. Deadline have people blend their time,
Mm-hmm.
prioritize tasks, and avoid procrastination. A detailed plan can set as a reminder to have them stay focused and organized.
Talking about time management. Yeah, talking about time management, of course, it helps them manage time better, I think. Right. So let's talk about what would happen if there's no deadline at all for work or study. Would people want to work or study? You know, không có áp lực thì có ai chịu học, chịu làm không?
Without pressures leading to less productivity. If people don't have to meet the deadlines, they don't have to deal with pressures, and they don't have a motivation to finish their work on in time. A clear end date is good because they can stay motivated
Mm-hmm.
and help them to arrange their timetables as efforts to manage everything in a proper way.
Mm-hmm.
A sense of urgency is truly important to bright progress.
I
So,
see.
deadlines make people responsible for their work, whether in school or at work. A deadline means that they are expected to make something finish by a certain time and sets an alarm to alert them from uh, from from being lazy.
Mm-hmm. So save people from being lazy and ruin their life because of their laziness, you know? Okay, so Miss Sarah, what do you think? Why are deadlines important in work or study? What do you think?
I believe that the deadline is really important, especially in work and studying environment. because it will when you set up a deadline, you will give yourself a chance to put up your productivity.
To boost your productivity.
And you need to complete your task as in time, and because if you can do that, you cannot do that, you will get some kind of
Will hay là will? Cẩn thận đọc kỹ chữ will. You will get, yes.
Yeah, we will some kind of punishment, like about your in your studying and in your school, it will affect to your score
Affect
and
tu nữa rồi, là affect tu nữa rồi. It will affect gì?
your results, your results are
Result.
the results are even the teacher will not accept your assignment if you hand in late. For work environment, it's not just about yourself, it's also affects the company performance and your colleague workflow. So it's really important to set up and follow the deadline to make sure everything will be smooth, will be smooth, yes, and
Yes, and make sure everything works well. You know, no surprises. Không có những lúc mà tự nhiên bất thình lình. Ngạc nhiên chưa? You know, no surprises. Just ensure that no surprises popped up. Không có surprises nào nó mọc lên, popped up. Okay, so Miss Sarah, how can meeting deadlines affect a person's performance? You talked about it already, but I would like to still hear more about it.
Yes. Meeting deadline can affect a person's performance if that's in negative and positive way. In the advantage situation, you can if you miss deadline effectively, you can and the quality miss the deadline and can push the workflow run smoothly and bring the effective outcome for your company. You may get a chance to
chance to
get a higher bonus or even an opportunity for a promotion. And of course, you also get the request from your colleague. On another side, if you cannot miss a deadline, it's not just affect to your personal.
Affect từ nó rồi.
It's the personal affects the job, affects your this your individual your personal performance. It affects your company performance too, and you may get some kind of bad results for that.
Yes. All right. So, Ms. Truk, what are some common challenges people face with deadlines?
I believe that no one's want to be stuck in the matches of deadlines because some common challenges such as poor time management, and procrastination. Many people struggle to plan their time effectively because they don't know how to manage their time reasonably. They have too much tasks to do, but they may under, underestimate how long a task will take and being distracted by other things. Of course, procrastinations is a common problems that many people have to face because
Yes.
because some of them think that they have more time than they think, so they can gradually do without any motivation. This may cause them to run out of time and have to finish their work without any effectiveness.
Okay.
Besides that, too many tasks also are problems when people have to meet the deadline in the same time. Having multiple deadlines can be overwhelming, and that make the effectiveness of the general task be reduced.
Okay.
Even worse, people may feel stressed or not know which task to prioritize, so it's worsen the situation.
Okay. So, what other challenges can you think of, Miss Sarah?
Yes,
So think about like unreasonable deadlines, a lot of the time you see those things by working with customers.
yes, I saw there are some common challenge people may face with the deadline, like they such as they in some
Specific, specific,
specific situation
specific nhóm 2. Specific situations.
specific
Chưa được,
specific
chưa được. Specific nhóm 2.
specific information
Specific. Specific.
in situation
Nè, chưa được. Specific situations.
specific specific
Specific là nhâm đầu rồi.
Rồi em cứ
Specific.
specific
That's better.
specific
Okay. Specific situations.
situation. Some dislike is unreasonable, and basically we don't have enough time to complete that with a good quality. So it also really affects the final performance and final performance. If we don't have enough time, we don't have enough time, and try to finish it because of deadline. Clearly, we couldn't warranty for the quality, and another common challenge I can see is that for a team deadline, if we don't have a specific deadline for each member, we may people may always want to extend their own deadline and delay that along as possible, and it will affect to the
Will affect là sao nhỉ?
and it
Will affect.
will affect the team results, and there maybe we don't maybe difficult to know who will take responsibility for that, for the bad results. So I believe that people, when we set up a deadline, we also should be clarified to know the deadline is suitable and realistic in realistic for people in the team.
Okay. All right, great. So, Miss Sarah, how can people manage their time better to meet deadline? I'm sorry, let's ask Miss Trúc with this one. How do people manage their time better to meet deadlines? Is there a magic way to manage time better? Có cách nào thần tiên nào đó để mà quản lý thời gian tốt hơn không?
Is that detailed plan and a timetable can
Of course, timetable, of course.
yes, can be a effective tool for meeting the deadlines. If people can manage their time based on the list to do and a clear goals,
Mhm.
then set a clear goal and prioritize is truly important to identify which tasks are more urgent or important to focus on first. What needs to be done first instead of trying to do everything at once without any effectiveness. A lot of divide the task into a smaller step is truly effective to make everything on time and update the progress. After each goals are set and complete, people should
Completed. Yeah.
completed. People should focus on what they have to do in the next step, and the whole pictures of what can be done in time. So I think that details and well-planned approaches is truly important and play a vital role in meeting the deadline.
Okay. All right. I think we can end here. It's already good practice today. Okay, class. Remember on Thursday we need to correct a writing for Cam 11 test 2, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, you got it. All right, that's it. And I'll see you on Thursday then. Bye, class.
Bye, everyone.
See you.